Hi, my name is Jonathan Baker. I am a fitness professional from Newcastle upon Tyne. I am a personal trainer and director of Motion North East, which is a personal training services provider for the disabled community. Today I'm going to be talking to you about exercise. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find the video useful. So let's get into it. So first off, I'm just going to start by saying that you are completely different to any other person. We all have our own abilities and strengths, weaknesses. It's a case of finding what is appropriate to you as an individual. When approaching finding a new fitness routine or exercises and things like that, all I'm going to say is just be very cautious. There's no rush. Start from the bottom, very basic, and work your way up. If something's too hard, then you ease back a bit. If something doesn't feel right, you ease back a bit. If something feels okay, then you can progress it. So, on to exercise. Now, there's many forms of exercise, but typically there's two forms of training. So on one side you've got CV training, which is cardiovascular training, and on the other side you've got resistance training. Now, CV training, this is things like jogging, swimming, cycling, things like dance classes. These are things that are really going to elevate your heart rate and are very, very beneficial for your heart and lungs. They're going to get you nice and physically fit. Other end of the scale, you've got resistance training. So this is things like weightlifting. You'll see people using free weights, cables, pulleys, resistance bands, things like that. Now this is more for muscular strength. Both have lots and lots of health benefits. And these are things like increased bone density, increased muscle mass, increased strength, stronger connective tissues like tendons and ligaments, improved heart health, improved respiratory health, improved neuroconnections, improved motor skills. I could go on and on. There's lots and lots of great physical benefits for the body that come from exercise. So we've talked about the physical side of things. Now let's talk about the mental side of things. So, exercise has lots of mental health benefits. When you're performing these exercises and you're moving and the blood's pumping and things like that, your brain will release things called endorphins, which are happy chemicals, which will improve your mood. Once you start getting used to exercise, you will see it as a source of enjoyment. You will feel that enjoyment, and it gives you a great set routine for your weeks. You will look forward to your workouts, and when you see yourself physically changing and you feel the physical changes, that does wonders for your mental health as well. When you see yourself achieving these goals and you look back over it, you start to tear and now you're here, it gives you a real sense of achievement, and you will feel the benefits of starting up a routine. On to the workout. So the structure of a good workout goes as follows. You've got your warm-up, you've got your main part, and you've got your cool-down. The warm-up is a way in which you're preparing your body for physical activity. The main part is either you have chosen cardiovascular training or resistance training. And the cool-down is a way in which you're telling your body, I'm stopping this physical activity. That's it, top and bottom, simple as that. The warm-up. So the warm-up is a crucial part of your workout. It's very important in regards to injury prevention and is a way of preparing your body for more strenuous activity. There's many ways of warming up. You could use something like a cross trainer or a rowing machine. If you didn't have use of a bit of kit like that, you could do things like dynamic stretching, which is basically movements of the joints. Okay, so that's open and close the chest, head movements, wrist rolling, things like that. The aim of the game of a warm-up is to elevate the heart rate, get the blood pumping around the body, oxygen to the muscles, and preparing the joints for more strenuous activity. Now on to the main part of the workout. Now this is entirely up to you. It all depends what you've picked to do. So you may be performing some free weight exercises in the gym, you could be doing some resistance band training at home, body weight exercises, you might have picked a CV exercise, so you might be going for a run, you might be running on the treadmill, could be on the cross trainer, anything. But this is where you're going to perform the more strenuous activity of your training session. Lastly, we have the cool down. So this is the last portion of your training session, and this should be approached in reverse to how you approached your warm-up. So in the warm-up, you gradually bring your heart rate up, and in the cool down, you want to gradually bring your heart rate down. This is very important for heart health, and is very, very important if you've been doing cardiovascular training. You do not want to just stop dead in the water. So say if you've been running, you would then walk for 5 minutes. If you've been cycling, you would then bring your speed down to like a low level. If you've been doing free weights, you could do something like walking, or you could jump on, if you're in the gym, you could jump on like a cross trainer or something like that and just go nice and easy for 5 minutes. What you're trying to do here is to tell the body that you're stopping exercising, and it's very good calming feeling. It's good for relaxation, and what I would always recommend is that you should perform some static stretching after training. So static stretching is things like a pec stretch, a tricep stretch, or shoulder stretch. There's lots of static stretches out there. That's something for you to look into. And what it does is, when you stretch a muscle, you're drawing blood into the muscle. So in training, you've just built up a lot of lactic acid. So when you draw blood into the muscle through a stretch, it pushes out the toxins, and you should feel less sore days leading after your workouts. That's pretty much it for the cool down. Do not skip it, it is very important. So lastly, I'd like to talk about recovery. The recovery process is just as important as the training itself. If you are performing things like running, cycling, swimming, typically those exercises can be performed daily. I wouldn't recommend it for some, but they can. Now when it comes to resistance training, it's a different story. When you're lifting weights or performing bodyweight exercises like push-ups, squats, things like that, you are tearing down a lot more muscle fibers than if you are when you're running. So this requires more recovery time. Typically, if you performed a full body workout, you would need at least 48 hours recovery time. If you zoned in on one area, so say you wanted to do your shoulders or your legs, you would therefore need more recovery time, say 4 to 7 days. Now, everybody is different. Going back to what I said at the start, you may recover quicker than the next person, or the next person may recover quicker than you. We all recover at different rates, but there's a couple of factors to keep in mind in your recovery process. So, adequate time between workouts, protein intake, and sleep. So I've talked about the recovery time. Let's talk about the protein intake. So protein, I'm not really going to get into too much depth with nutrition, but protein is in charge of all things muscular. You must have adequate protein levels in your diet for optimal repair. Lastly, sleep. So you repair in your sleep. And I know it's not the easiest thing in the world to get brilliant sleep every single day, but do try and get as good rest as possible. Well, that's it from me today. I hope you found the video useful. A couple of things before I go. As I mentioned at the start and in the recovery process, everyone is different. Take your time finding what works for you as an individual. I wish you all the luck in the world on your fitness journeys and in life, and take care of yourselves.